Welcome to Mekong NYC's Voter Education 101. My name is Kat,
And my name is Theta.
and we want to ground ourselves with some important information about the upcoming local elections for New York City. You may wonder, why should I understand local New York City elections, and why should I vote in them? While we often talk about federal elections, local elections are also very important. Local representatives can play an important decision-making role in shaping policies, programs, and resources that impact all of us on a daily basis. They can shape issues like jobs, housing, healthcare, education, and more. Additionally, if you find that decisions by the federal or national level government have a negative impact on you, electing a local representative who represents your best interests is a way to challenge those harmful decisions from the federal government. Any votes cast at the local level can shift and change the outcome of a local election. This can make the difference between harmful policies that hurt our communities or positive policies that benefit our communities. We need to understand, be educated, and play an active role in the voting process.
What offices will the New York City elections cover or will be on the ballot? Citywide, which include mayor, is in charge of a city or town, overseeing its daily operations and representing the community. They are responsible for implementing policies, managing the budget, and ensuring the smooth functioning of city services and agencies. Two, comptroller, responsible for managing and overseeing the city's finances. They advise the mayor, city council, and the public on city financial condition and make recommendations on financial matters. Three, public advocates provide oversight for cities' agencies, investigating citizen complaints and making proposals to address shortcomings. They also play a role in policy development and advocacy, representing the public's interests in various matters. Borough and district specific. 1. Bronx Borough President. There are 5 borough presidents in New York City. Serves as an executive official responsible for advocating for the needs and interests of the borough. They work with the mayor on the annual budget, review land use projects, and propose sites for city facilities within the Bronx. 2. City Council. Members serve as the legislative branch of the city government. They have the variety of responsibilities, including enacting laws, approving the city budget, overseeing city's agencies, and making land use decisions.
Important election dates. We want to talk about some important dates for everyone to be aware of as part of the election timeline. For the primary elections, a preliminary election to appoint delegates to a party conference or to select the candidates for a principal, especially presidential election. June 14th, 2025 is the voter registration deadline. This is the last day to register to vote by mail or online. June 14th to June 22nd is early voting. You can vote in person before Election Day. And finally, June 24th is the primary election day. A general election is an electoral process to choose most or all members of a governing body at the same time. From October 25th to November 2nd, there's early voting. You can vote in person before Election Day. On November 4th, 2025 is Election Day. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Key voter questions. There are some key questions that voters normally ask. Am I eligible to vote? Who can vote? Do I have to be a U.S. citizen to vote? Yes, you have to be a U.S. citizen to vote. It is part of our civic duties to participate in our democracy and electoral process. Additionally, you need to be a New York City resident for at least 30 days. You must be at least 18 to vote, but you can pre-register to vote if you're 16 or 17 years old. How do I register to vote? If you have a New York State ID, you can register online with the Department of Motor Vehicles, also known as the DMVs. If you do not have a New York State ID, you can complete a voter registration form and mail it to the Board of Elections. You can also visit the Bronx Borough Board of Elections to register in person. If you don't have a New York State ID or a printer, you can digitally fill out a form with Turbo Vote and have them print and mail it to you, so you can sign it and return to the Board of Elections. The platform also works on mobile, so you don't need a computer. How do I check my eligibility to vote? You can check online to see if you're eligible or registered to vote. Where do I go to vote? Once you visit the website above, follow the instructions and provide the necessary information such as name, address, contact, etc. If you are registered already, you can then follow the instructions to search for your voting site by checking your address. If you are not registered, you can follow the instructions and input your information. What do I need to bring with me to vote? Registered voters do not need to show ID to vote unless you did not provide identification with your registration. First-time voters must provide identification either on or with their voter registration application. If you have not provided ID by election day, you are still allowed to vote by affidavit ballot, but not using the poll site scanner. What happens if I need language support or access? Unfortunately, interpretation at poll sites is not currently available in Khmer and Vietnamese. The New York City Civic Engagement Commission provides interpretation services in the following languages, such as Arabic, Bengali, Chinese, which include Cantonese and Mandarin, French, Haitian Creole, Italian, Korean, Polish, Russian, Urdu, and Yiddish. If you need interpretation support, try bringing a family member or friend who can help interpret for you, or let Mekong NYC staff know a few weeks ahead of when you plan to vote.
What is ranked choice voting? NYC has used the ranked choice voting method since 2019. Ranked choice voting allows voters to choose up to 5 candidates in order of preference, instead of choosing just one for each office. What are the benefits of ranked choice voting? It gives you more say in who gets elected, even if your top choice candidate doesn't win. You can still help choose who does. It gives you more choices. You can rank up to 5 candidates, allowing you to support your favorite candidate without worrying about whether they're likely to win. More diverse candidates win elections. Cities that have implemented ranked choice voting have elected more women and more women of color, making their elected officials more representative of their communities. How does ranked choice voting work? You can rank up to 5 candidates in order of your preference: your first choice candidate, your second choice candidate, and so on up to your 5th choice candidate. This process can take multiple rounds to finally determine the winner. If one candidate gets the majority of the votes, which is more than 50% for the first round, the selection process ends right there and we have a winner. However, if no candidate gets the majority of the votes during the first round, then everyone's second choice votes are counted, and the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated. This process continues until there's only one candidate left, who would be the winner.
What does a ballot look like and how do I fill it out? Here is what a ballot looks like. Mark your ballots by order of preference. Rank as many or as few candidates as you like. Choose one candidate for each column. First choice, pick your favorite candidates. Second choice, fill in second column, followed by your third, fourth, and fifth choice.